I have bread on my lip.
Parisian bread.
I need to know, if you're a French woman out there, did you guys just really just eat like one little pastry for breakfast and then call it a day? I need to know. I heard that.
Nobody does that.
Guys!
We're back with another YouTube video.
Wow. We have a special guest back there.
And she's pulling on my hand. Lost my balance just now. She's
her
really
newest channel. We have a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old. The 3-year-old is at school, and this gal is with us today.
Going to
She's
town
with us all the time.
So yeah, we're talking about fighting in marriage, and when we first started dating, obviously we're an interracial couple. One of the big things that people would say was like, oh, it's not gonna work because you're too different and all this stuff. And we started thinking like, why though? Why can't it work if you love each other and then you're in it together and you're on the same team? You're constantly trying to make efforts to make it work. Obviously, you have spicy, Caribbean cool, spicy, Caribbean cool.
Why are you
Latin
Caribbean
spicy?
cool?
You're Latin spicy. I'm Caribbean cool.
The point of this video is, yes, everyone has fights in marriage.
You will have some disagreements.
But here's the deal. It doesn't have to define your marriage. And that's what has been on our heart is like he says, people just like to tell you that marriage is just going to be like a big explosion all the time.
Especially when you're different. Like, you're just too different for it to work.
It's too
statistically
different for it to work. And even if you are having fights, like if today you logged on and you're like, I'm fighting in my marriage, I'm fighting in my relationships, all we're doing is fighting, there is peace for you guys.
Yes, you can do it.
And I would say Fedrick and I, we are not big explosive fighters.
No.
Because why? Because
Caribbean cool. I won't let you go there. Initially, early in our marriage and dating, we also had this agreement that we won't go to bed angry at each other, and that we would also give each other the ability and open space to kind of air their thoughts and communicate, and without feeling like you're going to be chastised for it or beat down by the other person if you were to be truthful and honest. Like, we try to keep it hot, honest, open, and transparent in our marriage and communication.
Even fights can stem from, there's so much like inside of you that you haven't communicated or talked about. If you really recognize what you're fighting about, it's probably the same trigger, the same topic over and over. So if you don't pause and be like, we really need to address this. And like he's saying, a team says, okay, we're coming together and we're going to talk about it. When you're not operating in a spirit of unity and being a team, the other person just don't want to listen, don't want to talk about it, doesn't want to budge, doesn't want to compromise, doesn't want to serve the other.
That's when you always want to have all the take and no give. Like, you're constantly saying, I'm taking, I'm going to take, or I'm not going to budge on anything or try to resolve this because if hear you or listen to you, but I just want what I want, and I won't stop till I get what I want. And in marriage, in relationships, you have to find that middle ground. If there's obviously differences of opinion, like we have different views on certain things, we think differently, we're wired differently, so we always try to come, like, regardless of how far we start this way or that way, we always try to come here, like come down in the middle and just and that's how you can that's what helps us in conflict resolution and help us not to get so angry at the person because they don't hear me or they're not listening to me or I don't feel like I have a voice. Like we always want each other to feel like at any point in time Jaclyn can come to me and say anything on top of her mind. I know she got my back, she got my best interest in mind, so whatever she says, I'm not going to receive it in a way that's hurtful or I feel like where I can form a grudge against her because she's just being honest. Like, I know what she's saying is out of love and I have to listen.
And
I try to listen to that.
Spiritual maturity.
I
would like to say I was driving this morning and I literally was like, wow, what is a true spiritual leader in a man? And I'm like, it's not the guy who's holier than thou. It is literally the guy I think that comes and is the peacemaker. I literally was thinking that. I was like, I didn't grow up in like a family that resolved things in the healthiest ways. So I'm literally, I feel like was there a
lot of yelling? Did you experience like a lot of yelling?
There was like a lot of yelling, but it's not even about them. It's just like what you think is so normal and just fighting, like gotta escalate, gotta go there, gotta like
the one who gets the loudest or the most hype wins.
Fedrick says I have the ultimate storm off, which I'm working on.
Like I wish I could film her storm offs for you guys so y'all could see it. But it's Academy Award winning storm off. I'm like, I've never seen.
But they don't last long, and
there's different variations of the storm off too. It's just not one type of storm off. Like I can never predict it.
Yeah, I have to really recognize what's going on. Here's the deal: when you are feeling like you're kind of trying to pick a fight all the time, it's usually not. Well, it's not about the other person. Yeah. It's literally about what's going on inside of you. So in those moments, I had to recognize, why is everything like feeling, a certain way? And it's probably I haven't spent time with the Lord, because no person is going to be my everything. God is my everything. Jesus is my everything. So if I'm making demands on Fedrick to be this perfect human, or to fill me and fill whatever, I have to really go, okay, I probably haven't spent time with the Lord. Another thing is, wow,
what is that?
Another thing is, where are we, if we are kind of being back and forth with each other, you have to think, like, where are we not creating, like, where has there been kind of life taking over? Yeah. And I think that's usually any time and
we don't have time to connect. Like, there's life taking over and we're not connecting.
That, maybe it could be sex, it could be not having that quality time, because you're just boom, boom, taking care of kids, doing this, doing that.
As you can tell.
And Fedrick and I are so good to just say, whoa, we gotta connect, because both of our love languages are quality time and personal touch.
I said quality touch. They should be
quality touch.
Quality touch for everybody.
You can touch my body in a quality way.
What? Reminded of when you were talking
about. So much more church boy than I'm church.
No, I'm not. I'm just.
It's so sweet.
I'm already wearing a leopard. I'm already wearing a wild shirt. I gotta keep it not wild. No, this silk. So like communication and being with your partner and your spouse and whoever you're in a relationship with is that you have to talk about the tough topics with each other and not sweep so many things under the rug. It's kind of like the more you sweep under the rug, the more you don't communicate or get out to the other person, the more that can be left unresolved, and that can lead to like the volcanic eruptions that we talk about, right? Where you just start lashing out and it's just like, whoa, where did that come from? But this other person, like, I didn't even know. Like, you didn't tell me that when I said this, that made you mad, but yet 3 weeks later, you're still replaying that whole conversation when I said that thing that I said, and I didn't even know I even said it at that point. I'm moving on, and you're still holding that and building a grudge every day. So it'll continue to like expand every time I do something else. You just, that's going in the pot. I'm throwing it in the pot. Or I do one more thing. You're like, there's another thing you did that I don't like. There's another thing you did like that. And the next thing you know, this is what you do. You explode like a baby right here.
Have you held a grudge against me?
No, I haven't.
What's the longest grudge you've held against me?
Maybe 30 minutes.
No, that is not
I thought about it for 30 minutes and that was it.
What did I do that just like...
I think you did something that was annoying.
What I've learned, and Cedric and I talked about last night, is when fighting becomes... like, it's one thing to fight and just say the same thing over and over again, and you're heated and it's a debate and you're just not having resolve. And then there's the weapons and fighting. Yeah. And one thing I learned on early in my marriage, Fedrick is such a word guy. Yeah. And in my family, words, it don't matter what, you say what you want, and then the next minute, everybody will get over
blow
it.
Blow up, and that's
and
it.
It's totally fine, and you're expected to move on, and you never talk about it again. And you can say the craziest things to each other. Well, with Fedrick, I learned he takes like everything to heart, as we should, because words either bring life or death. Yeah. And someone who is speaking words of death or accusations, who sounds more like the devil than Jesus, is just like not who I want to be as a wife. Yeah. So when we're arguing or fighting, if I feel something arise that would like attack his character, attack his identity, I'm like way more cautious than I've like ever been in life, because I was that person. I was a word person. I don't care what I say. I can cut you down. Fedrick was too. And one thing we're always like thinking about in fights, like, is this really like, it's so easy to throw the words. We just like don't care in the heat of the moment.
Yeah, you just throw it out there and you're like,
you're this and you're that and you never do this and
really,
you're a piece of
that. You're speaking that over that person in those moments. And even with kids too, you're even like, we're even more mindful of what we are saying and to each other, or what they are seeing growing up too. Like, we don't want to be fighting in front of them, or like, we don't fight in general, but we definitely don't want to fight in front of them and for them to see mom and dad not happy. Like, we want to see them happy and them to see us loving, but we're also cognizant of that too. Like, they're watching, you know?
So you might be thinking like, well, how do I do that? Like, I got blood boiling in my veins, and hey, get it, I'm Mexican, so it's
Latin
like,
spice.
Latin spice is, but that's the thing, I think that can be an excuse too. Like, well, that's just who we are. We're passionate people. We're this, we're that. And it takes truly the help of Jesus living and breathing in me, because while that may not be Fedrick's go-to, he could be more of a stuffer.
Yep.
I could be more of an explosive person. And the thing is, Fedrick is like, you're not as, what crazy as you think, but I'm also like, I'm asking God for help in this. Like, anger is not bad. It's what we do with our anger that truly has consequences and repercussions is what I'm trying to say. Okay, when you have a 1-year-old,
like she's trying her best to try to rip this camera down here.
So it's like having a daughter and a son. I'm like, oh my gosh, we're modeling like for women and for men.
How to treat men.
How to treat each other. And I don't know. I just think today we wanted to get on here and just like encourage how important fights are going to happen. Yeah. So if there's anybody on the internet saying, we never
easy.
We never do it, guys. You're not Christian because don't believe it, because the thing is, Fedrick and I, God knew that I needed somebody opposite of me.
Yeah.
To chisel the hard stone away from my body.
I really think communication is key, and just creating and fostering an environment where you could just come and talk about whatever it is on your mind, and not be judged by it. It has to be a safe place where you have to develop that, so you would feel like you can talk to them about anything, and and after you talk, like we always, like I said before, I keep harping on it, you have to come to that middle ground. Like, it's about the gives and takes. Like, you're gonna have to give up some things and get in the disagreements and the arguments and the fights. Like, you
don't always have to be right.
You don't have to always be right about everything, and you don't need to win 100% of the things you're asking for. But you gotta have that compromise, and through the compromise comes the unity. Compromise comes through unity, and then you are unified. And we always leave. We try to leave every disagreement unified and still like knowing that, okay, where we're gonna land on this topic. Even if sometimes we have to separate for 30 minutes or so, we're gonna come back and circle back to it, because we don't want to just leave it unaddressed and because that gives room for the enemy to come in and start throwing darts and starting to throw lies your way about your spouse or your relationship or that person, or you should have married Mike instead of Dave. You should have gone with Susie. Susie wouldn't have did this to you.
How many Susies do you know?
I don't think I know one Susie in life. But if you're a Susie and you watch this, comment below.
Comment below
if your name is Susie. It allows for room for the enemy to come in and try to divide you even more, especially in relationships and marriage. Like, he hates marriages and he wants to break it up any way he can, or bring division, anything to separate it and cause more turmoil. And if we could do anything to like help that, and if you guys are fighting a lot in your marriage and you experience this, just ask yourself if you are looking for compromise, or you just trying to get the whole bag. you know. So you're just trying to take the whole bag. You're just trying to take and not give anything to help come to the middle ground, so that everybody can feel like they won.
Yeah.
Like both sides can feel they won something out of it. Like you may not win the whole thing, but you won some things, and you can all move on and agree to disagree if you have to sometimes. Just like, this is what we're gonna do on this, and this is where we're gonna go.
The word talks about our strength is for serving, not status. And if you even think about that in marriage, like, we are called to serve each other.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, like Fedrick's saying, like, not being like, we want to like come and be like, I know this and I know that, and I know it's better, and I know it's better for our kids, and I know this, and then all these things. And it's like, but if you guys are unified and God says we become one in marriage, then isn't his ideas just as great as yours? Blessed are the peacemakers. What does that mean? Like,
they will inherit the earth.
Is it better to have,
like, look at her legs?
Is it better to have peace in your home? Or is it better to be right all the time? I mean, I have to ask myself that. Like, is it better to be mad at each other and ruin this day for our family? Or is it okay that I just hold my tongue?
Yeah.
Think about, like, it's not all, it's usually the very tiny things that steal our joy and steal from the day with our spouse, with our kids.
Yep.
It's not usually the, like, big, huge issues. And if it is a big, huge issues, maybe that requires counseling. Like, I'm just saying, like, there comes a point.
Counseling's always good, too.
Counseling,
like, it's a good thing.
Yes. Like, if you've come to that point where you two are hitting a block, go see someone. I'm not saying go see someone that knows all your business or is for one person and not the other.
A professional.
Go see a professional.
Or biblical counselor, whatever it is.
Counselor, like, that is
unbiased
like
person,
golden, an unbiased person. But what I'm talking about is just like the ebb and flow and the first of all, back to what we said. Connection is everything.
Yeah.
If you're not having date nights, if you're not having sex, if you're not having intimate
times
like,
are
communication,
times just exclusive times are just you and without the busyness of work and kids and whatever
and
else.
all the things like, and your priority. Like I said, priority. Is my marriage a priority? Think about it. Do I spend more time with my friends? Do I spend more time in ministry? Do I then like working or my job or like, or am I truly prioritize? I mean, this happened to me yesterday. Like Fedrick and I, with the move and everything, like date nights have like been put on the back burner, and we can feel it. And literally yesterday I was like, I am finding a babysitter. This is it.
You're like, I am tired of going to all these nice restaurants with my friends.
Actually,
and not my husband.
No lie, I was going to all these nice restaurants with my girlfriends, and literally the Lord like put some in my heart, like, this is great. But this is not like you're very full in this area. You and Fedrick need to be going to these nice restaurants.
The Lord probably heard my stomach knowing that I was hungry because he was going to all these fancy restaurants, eating all these good food, and I'm just there eating cereal.
I bring you a lot of leftovers.
You do, but I was just eating cereal that day.
That's so wrong.
Because I was too lazy to cook something.
It just felt like we in the past couple months, you just make too many excuses like, oh, we'll just do it at home, which is great. Do it at home. But now we're realizing, no, we actually, because we're home, we work from home, we're at home, the kids are at home, it needs to have that separation.
You can leave it.
So we could talk about this all the time. It just is something we felt passionate for you guys out there, that if like there is hope in your marriage if you are experiencing this. We also want to share that we also have these moments.
And we deal with it, and how we share how we deal with it, and just letting you know that, you know, the tough conversations are sometimes necessary to have, and don't be afraid of those, and just be prayed up before you have it. If that's a tough area for you, be prayed up. And just ask the Holy Spirit to give you the words and to like be with you in that time, so you don't react in the normal way where you're like, super hyped and elevated and escalated, but you react in a way that's
like, yeah,
loving
don't
and
go
all that
into a
stuff.
place
Yeah.
where you're already angry. Never start a conversation when you're already boiling.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
that never goes good.
Never goes good.
Come, like Fedrick says, prayed up, you've spent time with the Lord.
Yep.
And here's the last thing I want to say is it's time to get real with the people in our families. If you're watching this and there is something on your heart that you really want to talk about to your person, talk about it.
Oh yeah.
Don't wait any longer.
That's
The
what I was
longer
thinking.
you wait on it, the bigger it becomes in your head and your thoughts when you could have just nipped it in the bud and said something. Say, like, you don't have to accuse. You can literally say, I'm feeling like this. Tell me it's true or not true. And the thing is, you may not always love the answer that's on the other side, but getting it out is everything. Okay, I think we need to go.
Yeah, there we go, because homegirl is getting sleepy.
Well, this has been
hungry.
amazing
Yes.
to spend time with you guys. We're finally in our new apartment and have some great natural lighting.
So we're going to make more videos.
More videos for you
It's coming
guys.
your way. Thanks for watching this video. Hit that thumbs up. Hit that like button. Subscribe.
And we'll see you
I'll see
next
y'all next time.
time. Bye.